Arnold spoke at something called the Austrian World Summit and demanded that everyone step up to do whatever it takes to save the dying planet.
Stop the bleeding. The earth is dying. We have to do whatever it takes to make our vision of a pollution-free world a reality. Whatever it takes, stop the bleeding.
I think that may have been a line out of one of his movies. Schwarzenegger doesn't call it climate change anymore, though. He uses the term pollution, as you just heard, because he believes the climate change narrative has been lost. He also says no one believes it now because none of the doomsday prophecies ever come true.
We want to communicate the right way. I think this whole climate change dialogue is not going to work. I think this has been used for the last few decades. I think we should address it directly, what it is, which is pollution. We want to terminate pollution. That is the message we should go and get out there.
The Terminator trying to put an end to the climate change terminology and instead use the term pollution. Critics point out the former California governor spent his time in Hollywood making the Hummer the new cool car that swept the country. You may remember that Arnold had the very first street legal Hummer made custom so that he could drive around the streets of Los Angeles. He also bought an entire fleet of Hummers that caused gas-guzzling Hummers to become a huge trend around the country. Plus, Arnold takes his private jet around the world to all those climate summits where he, of course, demands that everyone do whatever they can to stop pollution. So he catches some flack for that as well. Ladies, what do you think of Arnold's rebrand of climate change? Will it catch on, or will people be more likely to give up their freedom to stop pollution? Why don't you weigh in on this one first, Michelle?
I just keep laughing that he uses Terminator lines to talk about climate change, as if that's going to have a huge impact here, outside of us and everyone in the control room trying to imitate him right now with the "Stop the bleeding." That was my best impression of the morning. Okay, it was kind of good. But I will say, you know, it's so hypocritical, right? Because I see the same thing happen with major celebrities. Taylor Swift, another phenomenal example. She's sitting here preaching to all of us to use our little paper straws and be cognizant of our world and whatnot, while she takes her huge private jet around the world. I mean, Kim Kardashian flew to Paris to get a cheeseburger she was craving, and yet we're the ones that have to sit here and abide by the laws. I mean, it's so hypocritical. It's hypocrisy. It's very similar to Nancy Pelosi telling everyone to stay in their homes during COVID while she goes out to get her hair done. The elite, the ruling class, aren't subject to the same rules we are, Gina.
Yeah, it's so absolutely true. And I just wonder if, I mean, this is just a hypothetical question, not related at all to this block, Terrence and Michelle, but I just wonder if, you know, if you take a lot of steroids in your youth, does it affect your ability to resist cognitive dissonance when it comes to political decisions? It's just a question. I'm just throwing that out there.
We could look this up and follow up next week.
All right.
The answer is no, Dr. Gina. I'm doing just fine.
Wait,
doing just
so
fine.